Yeah, we are here at Ohio Reptiles and More Expo in Columbus, Ohio with GTL Geckos. Where are you based out of?
We're based out of Grove City, Ohio.
All right. And I'm assuming you specialize in geckos, seeing your whole kind of inventory of them here. So go ahead and tell me a little bit about what you do.
Absolutely. Actually, it was established in 2024. This is my first actual season. But I've had reptiles for a couple years before that. As far as the leopard geckos, I specialize in a lot of different type of morphs, Halloween masks, tangerine tornadoes, firebolts, bandits, a lot of geckos with bold stripes, tangerines with a lot of bright orange colors, and the Halloween mask, which is a pretty cool morph because it actually has a cool head stamp attached to it that you don't usually find on regular geckos.
That's really cool. I really like the geckos, especially this one here. This one right here. I think I was looking at it yesterday, and I thought that's
the
really cool.
Tangerine
Really
Tornado is a very unique morph. It is a cross, but actually the mother is a Tangerine Clown G and a Blood Amarine, and the father is 100% Tangerine Tornado, which when you put those two together, it brings out that intense orange color, as you can see. And they are, out of all of the ones that I have, out of the 8 that I bred and hatched, they seem to be the most docile, so I don't know if it's maybe something in the genes, but they've really turned out well.
That's amazing. If you weren't doing geckos, what other animal do you think you would do?
Oh, Lord. If I wasn't doing geckos, I probably would do snakes.
Snakes?
Yeah, it'd probably be snakes.
Do you have a favorite kind?
Pythons.
Pythons?
Yeah.
Pythons are pretty cool.
Yeah. Boas too, but I like the pythons.
Well, I hope you have a great show, and hope you do well.
Absolutely, and thank you for coming across and checking out the table here. And my name's Jeffrey Knapp, by the way. And if you get a chance to drop out today, come see us.
All right. Thank you very much. All right, doing more interviews. Who am I here with today?
I am Tiff Black with Frog Butts and More.
And where are you guys out of?
We are based out of Springfield, Ohio.
All right. So around you, I see some different kind of plants and things like that. So tell me what we're looking at.
So we started just with dart frogs. And we're breeding dart frogs, and what we've discovered in doing that is that people needed supplies, and there wasn't a vendor around who had high quality supplies for their dart frogs. So we expanded into supplies. So over here, for example, we have a build out. So this is a grow out for a dart frog, and we sell all the supplies that you need in order to build your own terrarium, or we provide the grow outs for them. So things like high humidity plants, cork bark, because everybody needs wood. We also have the food. One of the things we were committed to when we moved out here from New Hampshire was always having food, which are wingless or flightless fruit flies for dart frogs. So that's something we're highly committed to, always having those available for people for their dart frogs. And then in general, plants and substrate and whatnot.
Right, like these plants over here. Are these just for the tanks? Do they do anything?
So they can be for house. They can be used for house plants, but we grow them out in high humidity terrariums themselves and tents. And these are all different plants that you might put in your terrarium.
Okay.
So anything from your base layers. So this grows out and is really pretty ground cover. All the way up to your more central, like, oh, she's pretty. Look at her.
Right. All right, now getting away from frogs, I know you guys also do the geckos that are over here to our right. So
So we originally had the dart frogs, but you don't hold frogs because their skin is really absorbent and will just absorb everything. So those are pretty to look at. And my wife Crystal got crested geckos for me because I like things that are cuddly and that you can hold and that you can play with. So that's how we got into the crested geckos. She was actually one of our first. This is Camaro. We love her.
No, that's awesome.
And look at that red belly. She is so pretty.
How long have you had this business for?
So the business this we've been doing for 2 years now, but
Okay.
as a hobbyist side, upwards of 20 years.
Wow. Okay. And I'm looking over at these frogs here, and these are super duper cool. Do you have anything on maybe how you started breeding them?
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, happy accident was the first round. Like, oops, we happened to have a male and a female, and there was a little cup of water. We put a little cup of water in there, and then, oh my goodness, there are tadpoles. And then it was the mad rush to do research. So something else with our business that we're really committed to is making sure people have all the information that they need. Because that's the hard part of the hobby, is that there's so much information out there, and doing a simple little Google search, you end up with your AI information at the top that usually isn't correct. So something we're committed to is making sure when somebody gets one of our animals, or even just talking about it, is making sure they have all the information that they need so that they're set up for success and their animals are set up for success. Because that's something that we didn't have when we first got into it. And I believe the Azurias were actually one of our first. This is a really, really great starter dart frog for someone. They're a little bit larger bodied, so they're hardier. Good to start with a hardier frog because oopsies happen. So things like, oh no, my humidity crashed, or oh no, it got really, really warm. They're hardier and can withstand a oopsie from a novice.
All right. Well, Frog Butts out of Springfield, Ohio, everybody. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Third interview of the day. Who am I with here?
David Lunds with Pangea's Creatures.
And where are you guys out of?
We're out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow, that's a bit of a drive from here in Columbus.
Not too bad.
So go ahead and tell me what you've got here. These adorable little kittens. So you've got one there on your leg.
Yeah, so we're a TICA registered breeder of Savannah cats. We currently produce generations F4 through F6. These guys here are generation 5 and 6. The larger ones are 16-week-old F6 kittens. The two smaller ones are 10-week-old F5 kittens.
What is the F1, F5, F6? What does that mean?
So generation-wise, they're bred down from the African serval. The African serval bred to a domestic house cat produces an F1 cat. As you produce out from there, Savannah goes F2, F3, F4. So F1 has a father that's a serval, F2 has a grandfather that's a serval, F3 has a great-grandfather, and continues out from there.
I gotcha.
The percentage of serval decreases, and F1 tends to be 50% serval, and F2 tends to be somewhere around the 25% serval, F3 drops down to about 18% serval.
Okay.
So,
and then how low does that go?
they breed out. We typically stop breeding around generation 5 or 6,
Okay.
F5 or F6, but you can breed the whole way out.
All right.
Characteristics they get from the African serval are the spotted pattern, long pointy ears, puffy nose. His ears aren't quite as long as they could be.
Yeah.
The ocelli on the back of the ears.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of the predator thing, so if someone's coming from behind, it looks like they're looking back at them. They're also longer body than your domestic cat, and if you look at their legs, they're actually a lot longer leg than a domestic cat.
How long have you been doing this for with these guys?
We produced our first kitten in 2019. So since 2019, was actively been producing litters.
Did you do anything before you did the cats?
Years ago, back in the early 2000s, I used to breed small mammals as well as reptiles, as well as pythons, bluebirds.
So if you weren't breeding these guys, do you think you would still be doing that?
Hard to say. I'd probably go back to the bows if I did anything. It seems like the ball pythons have their market pretty well adjusted. The bluebirds, I think, are kind of left in the background. There's a lot of corn breeders and stuff out there, which is a good beginner snake for a lot of people.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
here to talk about skinny pigs today, and skinny pigs are a little bit different than regular guinea pigs because, as you can probably see, they don't have much hair. So I've been working and breeding guinea pigs for like 20 years, and we just recently got into the skinnies. We got these guys in June, I think, and we had our first litter a week ago, and then we had another baby born on Friday as we were leaving to come here. So we will have skinny pigs available at our booth at All Ohio next month before Christmas if it's something you're interested in. Now guinea pigs originated in the Andes Mountains. So they actually live in a very mountainous habitat. They're used to climbing and foraging and living in kind of a not as forgiving environment as they get in your house. And then obviously the skinny is a gene mutation. Guinea pigs are easy to keep, and normally you want about a 4x2 enclosure. The graded enclosures work better than aquariums. When they go to the bathroom in aquariums, it holds that smell in there and makes them very prone to lung infection. So you want to get something that has bars just so they have better ventilation. It gives you a healthier guinea pig. Now, aspen or carefresh bedding used to be like the standard, like no pine, no cedar. These guys are sensitive to just about everything, and the cedar oil, the pine oil, and everything can give them skin infections, respiratory infections. Hear respiratory infections a lot because that's the thing they're most prone to. But aspen does not have that oil, and it's a cheap alternative. Some people like the Carefresh bedding, which is fine too. It's just a little more expensive. I personally was using aspen up till recently, and now they have released these things called CNC cages, which are these big open grid areas to give them plenty of space, and then you actually use pea pads and fleece bedding on them, so it's super soft, super comfortable for the guinea pig. You get less foot irritation. It's really nice, and when you're working with the skinny pigs, also it's a lot more comfortable for them because the wood chips or Carefresh and things can be irritating to their skin. If you're using a fleece bedding, it actually they do a lot better with it. It's also a lot easier to clean, and it's a lot more inexpensive because the fleece bedding, I take a dust buster and I vacuum it every day just to get some of the droppings up, and then about every 3 days I change out all the bedding, and then I have 2 sets, so I wash one and then we're ready to go. And I just change it out real quick. It literally takes me 5 minutes twice a week, and the guinea pigs are more comfortable. I'm saving money and works great. We have all those accessories also available at our booth.
So, you've been doing animals for a couple decades now.
Yeah.
Out of all of those years, which one do you think would be your favorite? I know it's hard. It doesn't have to be a favorite specific animal, favorite like species or something like that.
I mean, at the end of the day, it'll always be dogs. Like, I'm obsessed with dogs. And I love all animals, obviously, but I mean, if there was one thing I couldn't live without a dog.
Yeah.
But
Say,
are
we
you
do
talking
see-
about exotic pets?
I mean, yeah, sure, go for that. What's your favorite exotic pet?
Oh, my short-tailed possum.
Yeah.
100%.
So yeah, I give them tons of Timothy hay every day, and then a bowl of high-quality guinea pig pellets. I use Expo myself. That's my favorite brand. Missouri makes a good one, and KT actually came out with a Timothy blend. It's actually pretty good, and it's a lot easier available if you're not shopping on Amazon. And it's a little bit cheaper, but it's still good food. They love trees, and we give them lots of kale, spring mix. They really like bell pepper. They love that. What else do you feed yours?
Carrots.
Mm-hmm. Mango.
Yeah, mango.
Papaya.
Yeah.
Is there anything that they shouldn't have diet?
Then definitely not chocolate. No dairy products. And not iceberg lettuce.
Yeah, because that's got too much water, right?
Yes.
And no celery, right?
Yes.
All right, good job. He has been keeping guinea pigs since he was 2 years old. They're his favorite animal. So he is one of our resident guinea pig experts in the house. And honestly, there are times where I'm like, Wyatt, can they have that? And he'll be like, no, Mom, they can't. I'll be like, okay, thanks.
All right, next interview. Who am I with here?
Richard Stevenson at Madhouse Serpents and Supplies in Huber Heights, Ohio.
Huber Heights. All right. That's not far from where we are. So tell me about what you've got going on here. I see some of the animals that are displayed and things like that.
We have a little store in Huber, so at the shows we do a lot of dry goods and bugs and such. We got a full line of exoterras and pretty much all the supplies you need, substrates and all that stuff for all your reptiles.
All right. How long have you been doing this for?
We've been into reptiles for about 20 years now.
20 years. And then what did you kind of start out with?
I started out with a corn snake. Those are my absolute favorite
So did
animals,
we.
corn snakes. Love corn snakes. Ball pythons are real popular. Crested geckos are popular. Leopard geckos are popular. But my love is really the leopards.
Awesome. Yeah, so I see you guys have quite the setup over here. I just kind of want to showcase that a little bit. How many tables exactly do you have here at the show right now?
I have 10 right now.
Is that? I think that might be like the most out of anybody else. I think there might be. I think there's one guy.
A few more, but
I think so, but this is definitely close. So, if you weren't doing the whole reptile thing, what do you think you would be doing?
probably relaxing and going fishing a lot more often.
Yeah, that's fair.
I have a love for deep sea fishing, and my cousin in Oregon's got a charter boat that we usually go hang out with once or twice a year.
That's awesome. Well, hope you have a good show, and thanks for talking to me.
Yeah, buddy. Have a great day.
All right, yet another interview today here at the show. So who do I got here?
My name is Ann, and I'm with Amethyst Arboreals.
And where are you out of?
I'm currently in Corydon, Indiana. So
All right.
Indiana, right over the river from Louisville.
Gotcha. And so I see you've kind of got a lot of different things going on here at your table. So I want you to start off. Let's start off with some of this art that's around here, like this piece. Where did this come from? Did you make it?
I made it, so I have a mix of acrylic on glass. I do a lot of acrylic on glass, on canvas, and then also some digital work that I can also put on other items, cups, shirts, that kind of thing. Tumblers, you see a lot of tumblers. So we have a mix. I do a lot of geckos. I do a lot of arboreal species, chameleons, geckos, different types of pythons and snakes, frogs. But if you come through here, I also do horses. There's a few random horse pieces. But I'll do plates of different sizes. I do custom pieces as well. Some prints. There's a gargoyle. I sold most of my big canvases. Left have some day geckos. Big fan of the day geckos. These two here, I'm a big fan also of chameleons. Panthers in a veiled. My bearded dragon. He's pretty cool. Some midday geckos. And then art, and then obviously geckos.
So yeah, over to the geckos now. How long have you been selling geckos for?
Okay. So I'm a lifelong reptile hobbyist. I started as a kid with leopard geckos, corn snakes. I've gotten back into geckos and breeding the last 5 years or so.
Okay.
I was a full-time horse person. I sold out of the horses and thought I'd go back to my roots and play with the lizards. So I've been about 5 years and selling and vending for 3 now. I believe it's my 3rd year.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you've been doing that when you started selling these geckos. Was that when you created this business?
So I actually started slightly before. It was kind of it was a parallel development because I was doing art already. It was primarily focused towards horses and dogs, and I was starting to get into reptiles because it is such a great subject matter, and obviously I love them. But it all kind of melded at the same time, where I started doing more reptile art, started getting in and building some projects and investing in some bloodlines, and it kind of just came together. So I would say, yeah, it was just kind of a kismet thing.
All right.
Yeah.
If you hadn't gotten out of the horse business, do you think you would still be doing that today if not for this?
Probably. I mean, that was a lifelong profession for over 12, 13, 14 years I was full-time. But during that time, I always kept reptiles. I always had a couple leopard geckos. I always had a chameleon or 2 or 4. So it was a natural transition to just go more into the hobby, and took up the big void that not doing horses full time left, and a lot less stress, to be honest. So I probably would, but I am very happy with where I'm at now. So.
Well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
We're getting towards the end of the show, but I'm still doing interviews, so who do I got here today?
This is John Rice with Fathom Hogs here.
And where are you guys out of?
We're out of Central Ohio, just east of Columbus, a place called Buckeye Lake. We focus on western hognose snakes primarily, but we also breed a few other select fluorids like California king snakes. We breed some very high-end corn snakes and a few other species, starting to work with things like Gila monsters and lots of turtles. So some of these turtles that we have here that we're focusing on, some of the higher-end red-eared slider morphs. We have diamondback terrapins, a lot of Florida red-bellied turtles that we're working with, as well as some Mississippi map turtle morphs.
Right.
But one of the things we also focus on is, of course, western hognose snakes. We've been producing a lot of top-end morphs for years now. I've been working with western hognose snakes for about 12, 13 years. Back when I started, they were not as exciting as they are now. They were kind of a niche species that I wanted to work with and challenge myself as a breeder. But now they've exploded in popularity, and we produce some very interesting color mutations every year.
So you mentioned the boost in popularity. You said you started doing this back when it wasn't really a big thing. So how do you feel about that boost in popularity for these guys?
I think it's fun. I think it gives a lot of enthusiasm around the breeding the species in particular. It makes people focus on new color mutations as well. One of the funnest things I like seeing is new people coming to this environment and being able to produce these exciting new morphs. So the boost in popularity, I think, is great. I mean, it's really put them up there with almost corn snakes, ball pythons, things like that. And we're finally getting to the place where you're having diversity in clutches like corn snakes and ball pythons, where when you hatch a clutch, it's not just like albino and normal appearing animals. You're actually getting a rainbow of colors inside of them. If I were to go out and start breeding hognose snakes right after the show, what's the first piece of advice you would give me? First piece of advice, do your research. I think that's one of the most important things that people don't do with any species that they jump into. They don't learn about the parameters that their species needs, and learn about some of the tricky things that are sometimes out there with hognose snakes. Sometimes some of the babies you have to do some scenting to eat, and a lot of things that we get calls, especially around this time of the year, is when their males stop eating. It can scare some first-time keepers because their snakes will go off feed. It's a natural thing for them this time of year, especially when they're exposed to natural photo period outside.
And then over here, the turtles that you have showcased. How long have you been doing the turtles for? Because you said the hognoses you've been doing for about 12 to 13 years. Did you start the turtles at the same time or a little later before?
It's been later than that. I really jumped into a lot of the other species more recently. But we have Jeff Hoover over here. He focuses on a lot of the morphs. We brought him in, and he's been doing this for how long, Jeff? About 10 years. He's been breeding turtles as well, so that's just part of our group there.
Well, thank you so much for talking to me for a minute. I really appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.
We are coming to a close on the November 2024
Ohio Reptiles and More Expo.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. It has been such a great weekend.
How do we feel about it?
Such a great weekend. There was so much education. There was tons of great people coming through, really interested in learning about the animals. We got to set some people up with some really great pets and know that they have good information and care, which I love. I got to talk about guinea pigs, which was so much fun, and got to meet a bunch of people, some people that watch our channel, which is great. So if you watch our channel, we saw you. Hi, thank you for coming. But it's been a really good time, and I got a lot of stuff that I don't need but did need.
Right. It's one of those things.
So that's the bonus of coming to shows.
We definitely had a great time out here.
We did.
We would like to send our biggest thanks to Daine.
Yes, Daine Finney from Irish Herps is the one that put this on, and him and his wife Carrie are amazing people, and they put on one heck of an expo this weekend. So thank you to them a million times over.
And then to all the people that I interviewed.
Yes.
All the people, we really do.
Thanks to Richard from
Madhouse. Richard.
Richard.
I really put him
Madhouse,
on the spot for that one.
He is a good sport.
Yeah. He is. So this is the official show video. A behind the scenes show video releases next week.
Lord help all you for having to watch that.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. So.
Yeah.
Expect for that to come out. Also, expect a bit of a kind of a mini little shorts type deal. It's going to be in like you would watch it on your phone, but it's going to be kind of almost a full-length video of all the clips that we accidentally took not in widescape. So.
Yeah, and we also probably have some pretty decent bloopers.
Probably.
This weekend. So. All right, guys. Thank you guys, and thank you for coming out. If you came out, we had a really good time here.
Now, I would like to know, what are we looking at for shows upcoming?
A week from today, so I don't know dates, but a week from today we will be Sunday.
So that's Sunday?
Yeah.
So that'll be the day after this video releases.
Okay, so I guess tomorrow, if you're watching this next Saturday, we are going to be at BRM Expo FINDLAY. And then the week after that, on Saturday, we will be at the Springfield Reptile Expo in Springfield, Ohio at the VFW.
All right. So we will be at plenty of shows. We are usually at least one show per month. Come out and see us.
We love to see everybody. And yes, I want to see your pets' pictures. Don't even ask.
Well,
I always want to see pictures of your pets.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Like and subscribe, and we will see you later.
Adios.